After 2 years of testing, we finally got our first look at an advanced Porsche 992 GT2 RS prototype, which is sporting some major updates from the last GT3 RS based prototype we saw a couple months ago. And we've got a lot to unpack here, but the first thing we're going to talk about is, will the new GT2 RS be hybrid or internal combustion only? For the last couple years, it's been pretty much unanimously reported that the next GT2 RS is going to be hybrid, but this might not be the case.
What? What the fuck?
A hybrid powertrain makes sense, since the AMG ONE that it's going after is a hybrid with 1,000 horsepower, and the upcoming 911 Turbo that the GT2 looks to be sharing components with is also hybrid. But I noticed something. All hybrid prototypes are required to display these yellow warning stickers, which let fire responders know that the vehicle contains electrical components that require special fire retardant chemicals if they catch on fire. But these yellow stickers have never appeared on any of the numerous GT2 prototypes. They're not on the latest prototypes, and even when we go back a couple years to the first prototypes, the warning stickers aren't there. And the complete lack of these warning stickers could be a sign that the next GT2 RS might be internal combustion only. And I know that it sounds nearly impossible for this car to beat the AMG ONE without hybrid assistance, but maybe Porsche thinks it can happen. Check this out. According to Autocar, they have an inside source that said early prototype versions of the GT2 RS's engine achieved 4-figure outputs on the test bench. And that sounds like a pretty wild claim, but let's face it. Back in 2017, when we found out that the engine in the GT2 RS was producing close to 700 horsepower, we were all pretty blown away, and we need to consider the fact that Porsche has the brand new 9A3 B6 motor, and turbo technology has come a very long way since 2017. That's nearly 9 years ago. So with a new motor and vastly more advanced turbos, it might be possible for Porsche to achieve 1,000 plus horsepower out of an internal combustion setup.
Say hello to my little friend!
If you're finding this video to be informative or entertaining, please give it a like. And if you're new to my channel, I publish original automotive content that you cannot find anywhere else. So if you're not subscribed yet, click below to subscribe. So at this point, we cannot say for sure if the car will be hybrid or not. Now let's talk about everything else. Since its inception, the GT2 RS has been solely focused on one thing: breaking lap records, and more specifically, breaking the Nurburgring lap record for street legal cars.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
And after Porsche accomplished that with the previous GT2 RS back in 2017, the terms GT2 RS and Nurburgring lap record have been synonymous. But 8 years later, the world of performance cars is a very different place, and Mercedes-Benz has been the Nürburgring's top dog with their F1-derived AMG ONE since 2022, and that car's lap time is a whopping 18 seconds faster than the stock 2017 GT2 RS and 15 seconds faster than the latest GT3 RS. So if Porsche wants to reclaim its former glory, the new GT2 needs to be a huge leap forward in performance. And it sounds like that is exactly what Porsche is preparing for. A couple months back, Porsche announced they are working on a new 911 that will, and I quote, raise the bar even further in the sports car segment. and it's widely believed that the car they are referring to is the upcoming GT2 RS. But can the new GT2 RS actually be enough of a jump forward in performance to unseat the AMG ONE? As a true purpose-built car, the GT2 RS utilizes a very simple formula: huge power, efficient cooling, cutting-edge aerodynamics, and dependable brakes. Everything else is an afterthought. And from looking at the latest prototype, we know that Porsche is swinging for the fences with this one. Now,
to the untrained eye,
this car might look like a GT3 RS,
but to the eye that has brain,
this is a much more beastly machine. A closer look shows a new body that features some incredibly wide fenders, so wide in fact that Porsche hasn't even made wheels wide enough to fit this car, and the remaining stone guards on the rear fenders only help to show just how cartoonishly wide this car really is. The front fender extensions have been integrated into the body panels nicely, although the production version will most likely have a newly designed set of fenders, while the rear fenders use bolt-on extensions. Whether this detail makes it to the production car remains to be seen, but Porsche will most likely be using completely new rear fenders on the production version as well. The latest prototype still utilizes the GT3 RS front fascia, albeit with a wider, temporary bumper cover to fill the width of the much wider fenders, but we can expect a completely new design on the production version, as aerodynamically, the front is the most important part of the car. Even though the rear is where all the spoilers, wings, and diffusers are, it's the front that generates the airflow, pressure, lift, and drag that the rest of the car has to deal with. Also, every generation of the GT2 RS has featured a front fascia that was unique from its GT3 counterpart. Here are the 996 GT3 and GT2, the 997 GT3 and GT2, and the 991 GT3 and GT2. Even though this prototype looks a lot like the GT3, the GT2 has always been based on the 911 Turbo.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Now, the new GT2 RS has a long way to go before it gets revealed to the public, but GT2 art prints from Arc Driver Automotive Photography are available now. Click the link in the video description below to see the entire collection. For this image, I grafted on the front from the GT3R Rennsport, and on future prototypes, we'll begin to see signs of a new front, but we most likely won't see what the production version looks like until the car is officially revealed. And to be honest with you, I'm just hoping it won't have those horrible looking shutters that Porsche seems to be putting on all of their sports cars. The latest prototype is still using the GT3 RS side skirts and front canards, but the production version will feature a redesigned setup as the front canard sits a few inches too inboard for the new wider fenders. At the rear, the GT2 RS is essentially a brand new car. The prototype has been fitted with fake exhaust tips and a large plug to fill the center heat vents. Ovular openings on the outer edges of the rear bumper cover show where the real tailpipes are, and the rear license plate mount has been raised to accommodate the new heat vents. And because of all the camouflaging, we can't see what aerodynamic elements will be fitted at the rear, but we can expect something extreme. There's been rumors of a newly developed exhaust setup for the GT2 that doubles as an aerodynamic element and combines the tailpipes and diffuser into a single integrated unit, but from looking at this prototype, that device will most likely not be utilized on this car. When we compare the latest GT2 RS prototype to the latest 911 Turbo prototype, it appears that they are using the same rear fascia, as the heat vents, tailpipes, and side vents are all located in the same places. but Porsche is most likely just using the turbo bumper cover as a shortcut, and we can expect a rear end that is completely unique from every other 911. We can also expect a new rear wing to appear on future prototypes, and possibly additional top-end aerodynamic elements like additional vortex generators similar to the ones found on the Manthey Racing GT3 RS. So as of now, the prototypes for the new GT2 RS are doing a good job of hiding the final design, but these new proportions and wider fenders look great. And when it's finally revealed, it's going to be a very sexy car. So what kind of performance can we expect from the new GT2 RS? The 991 GT2 RS has a 3.8-liter twin-turbo flat-six engine that makes 691 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque, and it was paired with a 7-speed PDK transmission, enabling the car to do a reported 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.7 seconds and reach a top speed of 211 miles per hour. But we know that Porsche is very conservative with its performance reporting, and independent sources who test their cars usually achieve much better results. Car and Driver tested the 2025 911 Turbo S, which produces 640 horsepower, and they achieved a 0 to 60 time of just 2.2 seconds, and independent sources have reported that they got it up to 205 miles per hour, even though Porsche reported a top speed of 198 miles per hour. We know that the new GT2 is going to be significantly more powerful, and even though it will have a huge drag penalty because of its high downforce aerodynamics package, we can still expect a real-world 0 to 60 time of under 2 seconds and a top speed that is at least a few miles an hour faster than the 211 reported by Porsche for the last GT2. The main nemesis of the GT2, the AMG ONE, reportedly does 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds and has a top speed of 219 miles per hour. We can be confident that the new GT2 RS will have a better 0 to 60 time, but it's not likely that Porsche can achieve the same 219 mile per hour top speed. But if Porsche ends up making the GT2 internal combustion only, they will have one big advantage, and that is weight. The AMG ONE reportedly weighs nearly 3,800 pounds, while the previous GT2 RS is reported to weigh closer to 3,200 pounds. Of course, the new GT2 is going to weigh more, but if kept internal combustion only, there's still a chance it could weigh 300 to 400 pounds less than the AMG ONE. And that would more than make up for a slower top speed around a course like the Nurburgring. Another important element will be aerodynamics, specifically downforce. The AMG ONE has extremely advanced active aerodynamics that appear when needed and then tuck away nicely for high speeds. This keeps the car clean and slippery, and when it comes to top speed, the new GT2 RS won't be able to touch it. The aerodynamics package for the new GT2 RS will be quite the opposite, with most aerodynamic elements constantly exposed and seriously hindering the top speed. But Porsche employs the best automotive engineers in the business, and when all is said and done, on a twisty course like the Nurburgring, the latest GT2 will end up having the aerodynamics advantage with a well-executed high downforce design. Without knowing the power output and aerodynamics setup, it's too soon to say whether the GT2 RS can beat the AMG ONE around the Nurburgring, but worst case scenario, it'll be damn close. So when can we expect an official reveal? Judging from the rough state of the latest prototype, we can expect at least another 9 months of testing. Once we start seeing more advanced prototypes fitted with the correct wheels and a complete and exposed aerodynamics package going full out around the Nurburgring, we will know that Porsche is getting close to wrapping up testing, and at that point, we can expect a reveal to be a few months out. Now let's talk about the uncomfortable part, the price. It's being widely reported that the base price for the new GT2 RS will be 450,000 euros, which is about $507,000, and nearly 58% more than the base price of the last GT2 RS.
Ladies and gentlemen of this supposed jury, it does not make sense!
But this is just the base price. This car is also expected to be extremely limited, and we all know what this means. Even with uncapped production cars like the GT3, dealers were tacking on six-figure markups. So with an extremely limited car, and one that may very well be the last of its kind, we can expect not just extremely high market adjustment fees to be added to the sticker price, but also extremely high under-the-table payments required to get your hands on a new GT2 RS. And I think it's safe to say that by the time someone has paid for the car, plus options, plus under-the-table and over-the-table dealership fees, they will have spent close to $1 million for their new GT2. And when will deliveries begin? Well, if you have the connections and the money for the new GT2 RS,
Doors on Friday night, how do you swing that?
deliveries are expected to begin in June of 2026, almost a year from now. So the new GT2 RS is shaping up to be an incredibly exciting 911, and I'm going to be doing a lot of reporting about this car as new information develops. So if you want to stay up to date with the news, click here to subscribe. Thank you for watching.